Hi, this is Ken and Michelle Bass.
And you're listening to the Resilient Parenting Podcast.
Well, here we are again. Hopefully you are there again, too.
What does that even mean?
Does it matter?
Hopefully someone's out there listening.
Yeah. Here's a little something for you.
Okay.
Testing your memory. Do you remember, I'm snickering at this because I know when this came out. Do you remember a commercial a long time ago for chiffon margarine in which somebody said, "Oh, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature"?
Barely.
Barely. That's because it came out in the 70s.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's when you first appeared in the world.
Yes, it is.
And I'd been around for a little while, but yeah, it was about chiffon margarine, Mother Nature. Don't fool Mother Nature. But we're kind of talking about getting out into Mother Nature with what's coming up.
Yes, we are. And we're super excited because now is the time. Well, actually, there's a lot of people who like it when it's cold and
yeah, anytime's the time to be out in Mother Nature.
Yeah. But right now is a really good time because it's nice outside. In fact, aren't you going outside today?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some weeding to do. And
it's not nice to fool Mother Nature.
And then there's the digging the hole.
And we are chatting with today Mary Jo Surges-Prokop, who's an early education specialist for the Boise Urban Garden School and Foothills Learning Center. Now I understand why you have the acronym BUGS, BUGS, Boise Urban Garden School. Do you also have the FLC for the Foothills Learning Center?
Yep,
BUGS, FLC?
Yes, both. BUGS
Okay.
and FLC.
Okay.
That's a lot to remember.
It sounds like you're endorsing some kind of business. Remember, FDLC. Or I don't know.
Only when you say it.
Yeah. Okay. We want to find out a little bit about what you're about and what Foothills Learning Center is all about and bugs and all that.
So I work for the city of Boise, and I am the early learning specialist, and I'm over both of those organizations. So I help them to come up with ways to improve the educational setting for young kids at those two sites.
Okay. So that's the COB with the BUGS FLC. Okay.
I see. I'm hearing a song coming on.
Okay. Go ahead, Michelle. You want to ask something?
Oh, no, I was just thinking of how I was going to sing the song.
Oh, okay.
But I have actually been to the Urban Garden on Ustick, and it was fabulous. I'm a gardener, so I was looking and trying to get ideas, but there weren't any children there at the time. We just had a tour, which is something that was really neat. There was a whole group of us that went.
Yeah, so the garden is wonderful. Actually, right now, this spring, you can see a lot of things starting to, bloom, and we have a lot of vegetables coming out of our garden. Not quite yet, but they're starting to grow, and that's what it's all about. Kids are helping to plant the vegetables, and they're going from farm to table, so they're taking the vegetables that they grow, and they're making lunch out of them. Like, for example, today, I just came from there, and we had this week our lunches that the kids created were included 52 plants.
Oh,
wow. 52?
Also,
52.
All of our lunches. So kids who come to our program not only are learning about the great ways to plant a garden, to harvest a garden, but they're also in the kitchen creating food, using those vegetables, and then being nourished,
Oh, I
to the
love
max.
that. You're just incorporating all the different parts and
It's a
then
win-win.
having a final meal. Well, not a final meal. That sounded really dark all of a sudden.
I guess only if they're bad
Lots
cooks.
of meals.
Lots of meals. We do something similar with our 16-year-old. They love to garden, and so they'll go out and they will help garden and do all the maintenance with the garden, and then pick the produce and then have it added to the meals. And there's something really cool and satisfying about eating something that you created in the garden, and they love it.
We just had their first strawberry the other day.
Oh, you ate most of it.
Well, I'm sorry.
You beat the squirrels.
Strawberry.
You know what they did? They planted onions around the strawberries. They had done research, and they found out that if they put onions around the strawberries, which I didn't know, it would help with the squirrels. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, you'll find out. Right?
Well, we got one strawberry, so hey, that's better than last year.
And that's part of it. That's so cool that they were doing their own experiment about finding out how they could get more strawberries. That's all part of it.
Yeah.
Yes. So we here at the Resilient Parenting Podcast, we're all about giving ideas and encouraging families. So I know you're going to be talking today about nature and how you can incorporate that in families. So you want to share with us what you brought for us today?
So first of all, there are so many benefits to being in nature. And so I think really the ticket for parents to want to be in nature is to think about the benefits that come along with it. So when you're out in nature, you're feeling connected to nature. When you're out in nature with your children, you're feeling connected to nature and your children. So I think that's a huge draw for parents to go outside with their kids. There are a lot of ways that kids they seek they're sensory seeking. And so when you're outside, there are so many ways to engage your senses. And whether you are rolling down a hill, whether you're digging in the sand, playing with sticks, climbing on boulders, spinning around in circles, feeling the grass, all the things just really invites kids to want to be in nature, because we are sensory seeking people. That's how we learn. And that's really how, when very young children learn, they're using their senses so much. And to be outside, it is immensely important for child development.
Now, think about some of the bigger cities around the U.S. and also the way Boise's been growing a lot lately. There's a lot more concrete. There's a lot more families living in areas where they don't have access to the outside. So Boise Urban Garden School would be a good place to go to experience
Absolutely.
some of that.
So the way I see it is that there are 3 steps to getting into nature.
Three steps, Ken.
Okay.
3 steps. So the first step is make it easy. So if you live in a house or an apartment, find a little green space or a little patch of rocks and explore with your kids and have fun doing it. Like, just really get down and have fun. And don't, you don't have to be naming the kinds of rocks and this is igneous and sedimentary or whatever.
That's good.
It is. And you don't need to make it any harder than it is. But just have fun and, pick up the rocks and ask questions. And it's as simple as that. You don't, the beauty of our city here in Boise, and I know that many cities across our country, like here in Boise, we have a park within, I think the mayor said something like within a 10-minute walk.
And we're making new ones all the time, too.
Yeah. And so if you can explore the park, you can explore, whole parks have maybe a small little creek or a little section where there's a few trees, even though there's, monkey bars and things. But going over to those parts were always more exciting for my kids. They were always the ones over in the trees or the pond.
Looking for
not
bugs.
in the pond. Be careful in the pond.
Yes.
No swimming, no wading. Okay.
I did save a toad once and put it back in the pond.
See?
Yeah, I think someone had carried it off and left it, and it was super dry. And I was like, okay, because my kids were freaking out. And so I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I brought it all the way back. And it was very happy.
And they remember this.
They still remember it. It was a big toad.
So it's kind of what you're saying, as I led up to this, talking about people living where there's just a lot of concrete. You're saying make do with what you have. Find that little piece of green. Find that little bare space.
You can also go to the schools, right?
Absolutely. Like if you have a school in your neighborhood, even the grass, the trees, the things around, schoolyards are not just concrete. So find a little piece of grass and explore. Within grass, there are, bugs. There are roly-polies, turn rocks over.
We did that a
field
lot
trees.
at our house.
Yeah.
And also you can bring nature in, because I know we have a lot of plants.
Absolutely.
And then you can do like the little seedlings by the window.
Yep.
So there you can bring.
What?
There is no limit to the nature that you can experience.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not. Taking care of plants at home really fosters like stewardship for children, so that they see, hey, we take care of these plants.
Nice. Okay, what was the second one?
Yes, the second one is to involve your kids in like day camps or camps that focus on the outdoors, such
Okay.
as Bugs or Foothills Learning Center, because reason being is because you've taught them to explore together, and then they have a chance to learn from their peers about what their peers know about nature, and then it kind of makes it like one step cooler. Like, oh wow, I learned this thing from my friend, and they taught me how to fish or whatever it is.
Right. They have so I know that they also have like the community community education. A lot of times in different towns will have different opportunities.
Yep.
Is that something similar that they
Absolutely. So take advantage of those, because first of all, they're affordable. And secondly, there's people who will help you enjoy nature with your children. If you're kind of unsure, I mean, some people don't grow up having these kinds of experiences, yet they know how important it is. And given our world is so ruled by our computers and our phones, that it's okay to have other people help you with it, because maybe you just don't know, and that's okay.
Yeah, and maybe it's just your comfort level. I grew up being out in the outdoors with my family, and I don't know what happened to me. I don't know what happened to me.
I don't either.
I love being out. Yeah. We'll talk later. No, I was thinking, just being outside. We used to like pack in, like we there wasn't a bathroom. We had to like dig a hole, like that kind of camping.
Oh wow!
Camping.
That's like
I
level
thought you meant
3.
your backyard.
No, we're still on level 2, Michelle.
I was just thinking though, like my level of comfort
Is high.
has changed now that I'm older, because now I think of snakes and things like that, which I didn't think about before. And I don't know why all of a sudden I'm worried about that. But I also wonder if there might be some parents who maybe are more nervous about certain parts about being out in nature.
Absolutely. And I know that Fish and Game, at least they used to run like a snake safety camp with some of their conservation officers. So there's all kinds of things you can sign up for.
Okay.
That, rest your mind, like, hey, it's going to be okay. Snakes,
it's going to be okay.
Snakes are okay. Some snakes are super cool too. You don't want to miss out on the super cool ones because you're being all afraid of, maybe a rattlesnake. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also wondering now, who's been digging all those holes in the backyard now?
Ken, that's not even funny.
Okay.
It's the dog.
Oh, okay.
So while we're on this, I think level 2 is also making sure, or just involving your kids in like swimming lessons, so that they are comfortable in nature. Our state is full of rivers, full of canals. Swimming lessons will help them and you rest your mind thinking, I'm safe and I can handle this, whatever the situation being. So, involved in or signing up for those swimming lessons through the city or wherever swimming lessons are in your town is an important step toward enjoying nature to its fullest.
Right. Okay. And number 3?
Number 3, well, you get to number 3, and 1 and 2 can also be part of 3, the whole time. But number 3 is like taking your kids on hikes, and I'm not talking about death marches. Like, I think our kids had some death marching, and I'm really sorry about that. But yeah,
only 3 more miles. Keep moving.
But making the hikes fun, and not making them far. I mean, our Hulls Gulch trails are so doable for families, and there's even trails within parks throughout
Camel's
United
Back,
States.
right behind Camel's Back, there's tons of trails back there too.
I like the green belt.
The green belt. Hey, and the green belt, veer off.
Yeah.
Like, you see those little trails, and
Yes.
go with your child and explore, right? But that's where the coolest stuff is. Like, that's where there's more sensory opportunities for your kids. They can dip their feet in the water, and again, that's why these swimming lessons and things like that are important.
Right.
So part of number 3 is you can go to a website and look for family-friendly hikes. I know in Boise we have the Ridge to Rivers website that can give you all that information. Birding is another,
looking at birds
and bringing your bird book, or, even using those birding apps. I know people are really crazy about those. That's just a way of bringing kids in. And then also, this is like a little bit of geek mode for number 3, but you could get into some citizen science projects.
Ooh. Citizen science, explain.
So anybody that studies the natural world is looking for data, or scientists are looking for data, and often they rely on citizens to give them that data.
What?
So you can look online and say, hey, I'm interested, I can tell a project, or I can tell a scientist what kinds of birds I saw. Or when my tulips are blooming. There's a lot of citizen science projects that you can do along with your kids that are a lot of fun.
Your little budding scientist. That's so cool.
Okay. And then there's also the YMCAs throughout the country. They have overnight camps. We have one here, the Horse Thief Reservoir Camp. And it's a great way for kids to explore nature without their parents in a safe setting. And it's so
lovely.
Cool. They have archery and all kinds of things.
Oh, and a lot of those programs have scholarships and other ways if some of the families aren't able to.
There are so many scholarships available through cities, and that's part of our city's job, is to make our city affordable for all kinds of families and accessible for all kinds of people, and of course the YMCA throughout our country does that too.
And we talk about parents helping kids get out into nature and learn things like this, but the converse, the reverse of this, also happens with the kids leading the parents in many ways. What you're talking about, getting out and seeing the birds and everything, maybe opening up some parents' eyes so they can enjoy nature a little bit more.
I think part of the thing that as I was thinking about, this conversation I was going to have with you is, as we think about nature and you're with your kids, you begin to realize that nature provides everything we need. And so while we're out in nature, your child will remember being out in nature with you, and then also that connection to you and to nature together.
Right.
So when they're older, they're going to be outside, and they'll always remember you because it's kind of like this connection thing.
And it's a positive experience. I know that nature is healing, so it can actually help regulate your body, and to just be out there with the smells and all those sensory things that you were talking about. I know when we go to anytime I'm by water, I automatically feel calmer. I just have a calm about me. So being able to have those moments of connection, like you're talking about with your children, in nature makes it such a more powerful punch, of connection. And I just love all of these ideas.
I think one of the coolest things I recently heard from a friend is magic is science you don't understand. And that's how I feel about nature. Oh. It is science that, we just don't understand, but we keep going back for more.
Yes, yes. So is there anything that families can do today?
Today, anything. Here we are at the library. There's actually a little green space outside of our library right here.
Oh, so I'm going to take my shoes off and go stand in the
long grass out there.
The long grass. Well, maybe you should check it first.
Yeah, you probably should check it.
We have dogs.
Oh, I wasn't thinking of that.
Were you checking for snakes?
Yes. In the long grass. Hello.
Having a dog. So taking your dog for a walk.
Yes.
That gets you outside.
Especially if it's a boy dog, you're going to be there a long time because you're going to be exploring all the bushes.
Absolutely. Giving your kids, making a compost at home, a compost pile, and the kids have to take the compost. That's a trip every day outside.
Yes.
And who knows what you'll see along the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's our pathways within your city that you can ride your bike on, learn to ride safely. I know in our city we have safe routes to school where kids can learn how to ride to school safely. And that's really important too. Every day, a trip to school through nature. The child will arrive refreshed and maybe calm as you've pointed out. So
I may start riding my bike to work. I just have to see if I can get over the hill. But I was thinking about that for the exercise, of course, but just being out in nature and being able to just be like letting the work go and the day go.
Absolutely.
And just kind of yeah.
Well, I don't want to sound like the old codger like I sometimes do.
Get off my lawn.
No, I don't ever say that. No, stand in my lawn, enjoy the grass. No, you were referring to earlier how it was when you were a kid and you were outside. And I know some of us older ones do remember being outside all the time because there wasn't all the electronic distractions, you know.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the day on TV, it was only soap operas. So, I went outside.
They
But
had soap operas then?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But black and white. But still,
Yes.
we go on about that. The older citizens go on about that, but we don't realize that we need to impart to the kids what we learned as kids outside.
And get out there again.
Share it with them as a parent or grandparent.
On that note, I just have to say, like, sometimes when I'm with somebody who tells me all of the species names, I just want to die because I'm never going to remember them. So I just like to be out there, and I also just ask questions like, I wonder how that bird can stand on a stick. Now, as an adult, I might know, but when I'm with my child, I'm going to ask that question to show them that being in nature is being curious. And even though I might know the answer to that question, I'm just going to pretend I don't, and I'm going to ask a bunch of questions and inspire them to ask questions.
Oh, I love that. I love
idea.
that.
Great idea.
Well, everyone, get out in nature. And or you can create nature actually do both. Create nature in your home and go outside and see what's available. That we will share some resources on our show notes. And if you're not sure about what's available in your community, just do some research on your own and see what's available. And if there's not something, maybe you can talk to some people and get something started.
Yeah. What did you take away from all this? Don't go on death marches.
Oh, gosh.
Michelle's afraid of snakes.
I'm working on it, though.
Actually, I'm a little bit shy on it, too. I do the whole Indiana Jones thing. Why does it always have to be snakes?
I'm starting to like snakes a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
There's good snakes.
There are
good
good snakes.
Yeah. That's what you have to learn by being out in nature, so you
That's
can
right.
spot one. Oh, that's a good one.
I love being out in nature. In fact, after this, I'm going to go for a walk on the green belt.
Okay. Very good. Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot.
Take care. This podcast is brought to you by the Idaho Children's Trust Fund.